Welcome to AI Book Highlights. You sent us James Clear's Atomic Habits, hoping to get some practical insights into how, really small changes can eventually lead to pretty big results in life.
Yeah, and it's a great choice. Atomic Habits really digs into the nuts and bolts of habit formation. It's less about just like setting huge goals and more about the underlying systems.
Right, so you want to understand how habits actually work and how to build better ones without wading through loads of theory. Let's try and pull out the core ideas for you.
Okay, so Clear basically gives us this framework, this way of thinking about how habits form, and maybe more importantly, how we can actually change them by focusing on these tiny, almost invisible improvements. We'll pull out, say, 5 key highlights to give you a really solid starting point.
Perfect. So first up is something maybe a bit counterintuitive. The sheer power of thinking small, those tiny gains. Clear even starts with his own story, doesn't he? Recovering from that awful injury.
He does, yeah. And it wasn't, some miracle recovery. It was about these small, consistent wins, showing up, doing one tiny thing better each day. That really hammers home his main point. Habits are like compound interest for self-improvement.
Compound interest, so like small deposits adding up over time.
Exactly. These tiny 1% improvements, they don't seem like much day to day, but they compound. Over months or years, the difference is huge. And he talks about lagging versus leading measures.
Okay, explain that a bit.
Well, your results like your weight, your bank balance, your knowledge, those are lagging measures. They're the outcome of past habits.
Ah, okay.
Your habits today are the leading indicators, or the things that predict where you'll end up. So if you want to change the outcome, you have to focus on those small daily inputs, those leading habits.
But it doesn't always feel like progress, does it? He mentions that dip, the plateau of latent potential.
Right. That's such a crucial concept. Think
Yeah.
about melting an ice cube. You heat it from, say, 25 degrees to 31 degrees.
Nothing seems to happen.
Exactly. It looks like nothing's happening. But the energy is building up, it's being stored. Then, bang, at 32 degrees, you get the breakthrough. It melts.
So habit changes like that.
Often, yeah. You're putting in the effort, making those 1% improvements, but the results aren't visible yet. He calls it the valley of disappointment. It's so easy to get discouraged there and quit, but you have to trust that the work is accumulating. The breakthrough is often closer than you think.
That makes sense. Okay, second highlight. This idea that, maybe surprisingly, systems are more important than goals.
Yeah, this one really flips conventional wisdom on its head. We're all told to set big, ambitious goals.
Right. Smart goals and all that.
But Clear argues goals are kind of temporary. You might achieve a goal, like running a marathon, but if you don't change the underlying system, your training routine, your diet, what happens after the race?
You probably stop running or go back to old habits.
Precisely. Goals are about a specific outcome. Systems are about the process that leads to those outcomes. If you fix the inputs, the outputs often take care of themselves. Winners and losers often have the same goals. It's the systems that make the difference.
So focus on the daily practice, not just the finish line.
Exactly. And there's another angle to happiness. If your happiness is tied only to achieving a goal, you're basically postponing joy until you hit that milestone.
Which might take ages or never happen.
Right. But if you focus on the system, you can find satisfaction in the process itself, in showing up each day. Fall in love with the process, not just the prize.
Okay, that leads nicely into the third point, identity. How our habits are tied to who we believe we are.
This is, I think, maybe the deepest layer of habit change. Clear says that true behavior change is really identity change. Our actions often stem from our self-perception.
Can you give an example?
Well, he uses the voting example. The goal isn't just to vote. It's to become the type of person who votes, someone who identifies as a voter.
Ah, okay. So it's not just doing something, it's being someone.
Exactly. If you want to get fit, the aim isn't just exercise more, it's become a person who doesn't miss workouts. When your identity aligns with a habit, doing the right thing feels natural, not like a chore.
So the habit reinforces the identity, and the identity makes the habit easier.
Yes, it's a feedback loop. Every time you perform a habit, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. You're embodying that identity. So the focus shifts from just outcomes to who do I want to be?
That's powerful. Okay, highlight 4 must be the practical framework, right? The 4 laws.
Yep, the 4 laws of behavior change. This is the real how-to. They build on the basic habit loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Understanding that loop is step 1.
Right. Cue triggers it, craving motivates, response is the action, reward reinforces it.
Exactly. So the 4 laws are basically levers to adjust that loop. Law 1. Make it obvious. This targets the cue. You need to be aware of your current habits and their triggers first.
How do you do that?
He suggests things like a habit scorecard, just listing out your daily actions to see them clearly. Then, use techniques like implementation intentions, deciding exactly when and where you'll act. I will do behavior at time and location.
Super specific.
Very. And habit stacking, linking a new habit to an existing one. After I brush my teeth, I will meditate for 1 minute. It uses the old habit as a cue for the new one. And, crucially, design your environment. Make cues for good habits obvious, cues for bad habits invisible.
Like leaving running shoes by the door.
Exactly. Or putting your phone in another room when you need to focus. Okay, law 2. Make it attractive. This tackles the craving.
Making it something you want to do.
Yeah, leveraging dopamine. You compare an action you want to do with an action you need to do, like only listening to your favorite podcast while exercising. Social norms are huge here, too. We tend to imitate the habits of people around us.
So joining a group where the desired behavior is normal.
That helps a lot. Or even just reframing how you think about a habit. Instead of, I have to go for a run, think, I get to build endurance and clear my head. Change the association.
Okay, law 3.
Make it easy.
Yeah.
This is about the response. Reducing friction is key. We naturally gravitate towards the easiest option, the law of least effort.
Makes sense.
So prepare your environment. Prime the space. If you want to drink more water, fill up a water bottle the night before. Cut up vegetables on Sunday for the week. Master these decisive moments that set you up for success later.
And the 2-minute rule fits here, right?
Absolutely. This is brilliant for starting. Scale down any new habit so it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes read 1 page. Yoga becomes take out my yoga mat.
Just get started.
Just start. Nail the first 2 minutes. You can build up later. But making it easy to start is critical. Standardize before you optimize.
Love that. Okay, final law, make it satisfying. The reward.
Right. The cardinal rule of behavior change. What is immediately rewarded gets repeated. What is immediately punished gets avoided.
But good habits often have delayed rewards, don't they? Like saving money or eating healthy.
Exactly, that's the problem. Bad habits often have immediate rewards but delayed consequences. Good habits are often the reverse. So you need to find ways to bring the reward forward.
How?
Give yourself some immediate healthy reinforcement. Maybe track your habit. Seeing a streak build up can be satisfying in itself. Don't break the chain. Or pair the habit with something you enjoy immediately after. Even just verbal praise to yourself. A habit contract with an accountability partner can also add immediate social consequences if you slip up.
Okay, that's a really solid framework. What about the 5th highlight? Staying with it long term.
Yeah, building the habit is one thing, sticking with it is another. Clear talks about understanding your natural inclinations. Genes play a role. Some things will just feel more satisfying to you.
So play to your strengths.
Pretty much. Align your ambitions with your abilities. Pick habits that fit your personality and skills. Play a game where the odds are in your favor. But even then, you need to keep improving slightly to stay engaged.
The Goldilocks zone.
Exactly. The task needs to be not too hard, not too easy, but just challenging enough to keep you focused and in a state of flow. And you have to handle the boredom. Mastery isn't always exciting. Often it's about sticking to the schedule even when you don't feel like it. Professionals show up.
And reflection.
Crucial. Regularly reviewing your progress, seeing what's working, what's not, and making adjustments. That keeps you on track for the long haul.
Okay, that covers a lot. So for someone listening right now wanting to apply this, what are maybe 3 concrete, actionable things they could do today?
Right, let's make it practical. First, try that habit scorecard, even just mentally. Run through your day, waking up, coffee, commute, work, emails, lunch. Just become aware of your current routines. Then pick one habit you think might be a keystone.
Yeah.
Something small that can ripple outwards positively.
Okay, awareness first. Then what?
Second, take that one habit and apply Law 1. Make it obvious. Think about the cue. How can you design your environment to make that cue unmissable? If it's flossing, put the floss right next to your toothbrush. If it's taking vitamins, put them by your coffee maker. Just one change, make the cue pop.
Makes sense. And the 3rd action?
Third, apply the 2-minute rule from Law 3. Make it easy. Take that same habit and shrink it down. What's the absolute first step that takes less than 2 minutes? Go for a run becomes put on running shoes. Write a novel becomes write 1 sentence. Focus only on mastering that tiny starting ritual.
Put on running shoes. I can do that.
Exactly. Make it so easy you can't say no. nail the start.
Brilliant. Well, hopefully this exploration of atomic habits gives you some really useful practical ideas you can start using right away. Remember, as Clear emphasizes, it's those small, consistent actions that really add up.
They really do. And there's
Yeah.
so much more detail and nuance in the book itself.
Absolutely. So, if you want to go deeper into this framework, we definitely recommend picking up a copy of Atomic Habits by James Clear. We'll put a link in the description below for you. Thanks so much for joining us on AI Book Highlights.